Florida Part 7. The Fun Coast of Florida.
Table of Contents, Florida Part 7. The Fun Coast of Florida.
All about Walt Disney, his park, and the fun coast of Florida. With visiting and touring information, geography, history, attractions, and other points of interest.
Dr. Sydney Soclof. Dr. Sydney22@gmail.com. 2022. Narration by Dr. Sydney Soclof.
Zoe Phonemes.
And Nathan Coltove. For a more complete discussion of YouTube navigation, please go to this video using the link here. Chapter 1, The Fun Coast.
This is Orlando, and the major theme parks in the area are in the central part of Florida.
The Kennedy Space Center is on the east coast of Florida, just east of Orlando.
This map divides the state of Florida into various regions.
The city of Orlando is the county seat of Orange County.
The Orlando metropolitan area has a population of 2.5 million, making it the 23rd largest metropolitan area in the United States, the 6th largest metropolitan area in the southern U.S., and the 3rd largest metropolitan area in Florida.
The city population of Orlando is now over 310,000, making it the 61st largest city in the U.S., the 4th largest city in Florida, and the state's largest in one city.
Orlando is the principal city of the Orlando-Kissimmee Metropolitan Statistical Area, which is Florida's 3rd largest, behind Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater.
Orlando is best known for the many tourist attractions in the area, particularly the nearby Walt Disney World Resort, which is in Lake Buena Vista, just outside the Orlando city limits.
Other area attractions include SeaWorld and Universal Orlando Resort.
This is a map showing the locations of area attractions, such as the Kennedy Space Center.
This is another map showing the locations of places in the Orlando area, such as the University of Central Florida and the Orlando International Airport.
The largest university in Florida by enrollment is the University of Central Florida in Orlando, with a whopping 68,000 students. Florida International University is in second place with 58,000. And the University of Florida is in third place with 52,000 students.
In fact, the University of Central Florida is the 2nd largest university in the entire country, and is almost tied with Texas A&M for first place. Florida International University is in 4th place, and the University of Florida is in 5th place nationwide. These are single individual campuses.
In the 1920s, Orlando experienced a large housing boom. Land prices soared. During this period, several neighborhoods in downtown were constructed, leaving behind many bungalows. The boom ended when several hurricanes hit Florida in the late 1920s and by the Depression.
During World War II, Army personnel were stationed at the Pine Castle Army Air Force Base. Some of these servicemen stayed in Orlando to settle and raise families. In 1958, Pine Castle was renamed McCoy Air Force Base after Colonel Michael McCoy.
In 1956, the Aerospace Defense Company Martin Marietta, now Lockheed Martin, established the plant in Orlando.
Orlando is close enough to Patrick Air Force Base, Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, and the Kennedy Space Center for residents to commute to work from the city's suburbs.
Orlando also allows easy access to Port Canaveral, an important cruise ship terminal. Because of its proximity to the Space Coast near the Kennedy Space Center, many high-tech companies have shifted to the Orlando area.
This is the Orlando and Space Coast area, showing the Kennedy Space Center and the Port Canaveral cruise ship terminal.
This is a more detailed view of the Space Coast area, showing the Kennedy Space Center and the Port Canaveral cruise ship terminal.
Chapter 2. Florida Theme Parks. 1870s, Silver Springs. 1936 Cypress Gardens, Winter Haven. 1938 Marineland, St. Augustine. 1959 Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. 1971 Disney's Magic Kingdom. 1973 SeaWorld, Orlando. 1982 Epcot Center. 1990 Universal Orlando. And 1998 Animal Kingdom.
The Silver Springs State Park is considered to be Florida's first tourist attraction, dating back to the 1870s. It is on the Silver River just east of Ocala. The park contains Silver Springs,
Nature's Fairyland, Silver Springs, Florida. This is a vintage travel pamphlet, published in Ocala by the Silver Springs Transportation Company, circa 1914.
This is a vintage Florida attractions map.
This is a vintage 1950s postcard of the glass-bottom boats at Silver Springs.
This is the entrance sign at the Silver Springs State Park.
This shows the location of the Silver Springs State Park, just 6 miles east of Ocala on State Highway 40, just past Highway 35.
In 1985, the state purchased the land surrounding Silver Springs to spare it from development, creating the Silver River State Park. In 1993, the state acquired Silver Springs as well. Though it continued to be operated privately, in 2013 the state took over Silver Springs, merging it with the adjacent parkland to create Silver Springs State Park.
These are glass-bottom boats at the head spring area of Silver Springs.
This is underwater viewing on a glass-bottom boat.
This is the Silver River in the park. The Silver River flows into the Ocklawaha River and the St. Johns River to the Atlantic Ocean near Jacksonville.
This is a steamboat and railroad at Silver Springs in 1886. Steamboats ran on the river from 1873 to 1919.
This is a map of the Heartline steamboat route from Silver Springs on the Silver River through the Ocklawaha River and the St. Johns River to Palatka, with connections to Jacksonville and the Atlantic Ocean.
This is a photograph showing a steamboat on the Ocklawaha River in Silver Springs in 1902.
Chapter 4. Florida's first theme parks emerged in the 1930s, including Cypress Gardens, 1936, near Winter Haven, and Marineland, 1938, near St. Augustine.
Cypress Gardens predated Disney World by many years. Its botanical gardens and water ski shows once made the park a Florida must-see. But Disney and other next-generation parks rendered Cypress Gardens outdated, and in 2003, it closed after years of dwindling attendance.
The botanical gardens of Cypress Gardens and water parks were incorporated as Cypress Gardens Adventure Park into Legoland, Florida, and reopened in 2011.
Legoland, Florida is the second largest Legoland park in the world in addition to Cypress Gardens Adventure Park. It features more than 45 rides, shows, attractions, restaurants, and shopping.
Marineland of Florida was one of Florida's first theme parks, and was billed as the world's first oceanarium.
Marineland functioned as a research and education institution. It was closed in 2004 for renovations and reopened to the public in 2006 as Marineland Dolphin Adventures.
Chapter 5. Universal Studios Florida is a theme park located in Orlando and opened in 1990. The park's theme is the entertainment industry, particularly movies and television.
This shows the location of Universal Studios Florida. It is 5 miles northeast of the Orlando airport and takes 25 minutes by road. It is 6 miles southwest of downtown Orlando, with a driving time of 15 minutes.
Universal Studios Florida inspires its guests to ride the movies, and it features numerous attractions and live shows.
In 2013, the park hosted an estimated 7 million guests, ranking it the 8th most visited theme park in the United States and ranking it 16th worldwide.
SeaWorld Orlando is a theme park and marine life-based zoological park.
When combined with its neighbor Discovery Cove and Aquatica, it forms SeaWorld Parks and Resorts Orlando, an entertainment complex consisting of the 3 parks and many neighboring hotels.
SeaWorld Orlando hosts 5 million annually, ranking it the 10th most visited amusement park in the United States and 19th worldwide.
Chapter 6. Also worth mentioning is Wachee Springs State Park. This was started as an underwater show in 1947 and is now part of the Florida State Park system.
Wachee Springs is a natural tourist attraction where underwater performances by mermaids, women wearing fishtails as well as other fanciful outfits, can be viewed in the spring of the Wachee River.
There is also a water park, Buccaneer Bay riverboat rides, kayak, and paddleboard rentals as some of the other activities offered at Wachee Springs.
This shows the location of the Wachee Springs State Park. It is 80 miles west of Orlando and 50 miles north of Tampa.
The Wachee Springs State Park is near Spring Hill on U.S. Highway 19 near the intersection of Florida Highway 50. Chapter 7. As a result, tourism became the centerpiece of the area's economy. Orlando is consistently ranked as one of the top vacation destinations in the world, with more theme parks and entertainment attractions than anywhere else in the world.
These are amusement parks near Orlando: Walt Disney World Resort, Magic Kingdom, 1971, Epcot, 1982, Disney's Hollywood Studios, 1989, Disney's Animal Kingdom, 1998, Water Parks, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon, 1989, Disney's Blizzard Beach, 1995, Universal Orlando Resort, Universal Studios Florida, 1990, Islands of Adventure, 1999, and SeaWorld Orlando, 1973.
The population growth of Orlando in 1900. The population was a mere 2,500.
In the first half of the 20th century, the population of Orlando increased rapidly to reach 50,000 by 1950.
The population growth of Orlando accelerated with the building of Walt Disney World and other vacation parks and resorts to reach well over 200,000 by 2010.
The population is now over 300,000.
Chapter 9. The Space Coast.
Florida has played an important role in the country's space program and in the military, with major naval and air bases.
Why Cape Canaveral? Due to the Earth's eastward spin, any object being launched off an East Coast location would get a boost from the Earth's spin. The rate of spin is highest on the equator and slowest on the Earth's poles. So the closer an object is to the equator, the higher the kinetic energy the object starts with at launch. A rocket launched over the ocean would be safer for debris dropping or exploding near populated areas. The location was chosen because it was relatively undeveloped land, but accessible by existing roads.
Cape Canaveral was chosen in 1949 as a test site for the country's nascent missile program. Patrick Air Force Base and the Cape Canaveral launch site began to take shape as the 1950s progressed. By the early 1960s, the space race was in full swing and generated a huge boom in the communities around Cape Canaveral.
This area is now collectively known as the Space Coast and features the Kennedy Space Center. It is also a major center of the aerospace industry.
To date, all manned orbital space flights launched by the United States, including the only men to visit the moon, have been launched from the Kennedy Space Center.
Communities in the area include Titusville, Cocoa Beach, Merritt Island, Melbourne, and Palm Bay. Most of the Space Coast area lies within Brevard County.
This is the Launch Complex 39 area, with the Vehicle Assembly Building and a Launch Control Center.
This is Space Shuttle Atlantis prepared for launch.
This is the gate to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Explorer, a mock-up of the Space Shuttle, is in the background.
This is the Rocket Garden at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
This is a NASA Space Center tour bus.
Chapter 10. St. Augustine.
St. Augustine is the oldest continuously occupied city in the U.S. It was founded in 1565 and is about 50 miles south of Jacksonville.
Juan Ponce de León, a Spanish conquistador, discovered Florida on April 2, 1513, during Pascua, Florida, a Spanish term for the Easter season.
He decided to name the new land for the season.
So from that date forward, the land became known as La Florida.
Ponce de León was said to be searching Florida for the legendary Fountain of Youth.
The city of St. Augustine is home to the Fountain of Youth National Archaeological Park at the spot where Ponce de León is traditionally said to have landed in 1513.
Although Flagler remained on the board of directors of Standard Oil, he gave up his day-to-day involvement in the corporation in order to pursue his interests in Florida. He returned to St. Augustine in 1885 and began construction on the 540-room Ponce de León Hotel.
The Hotel Ponce de León opened on January 10, 1888, and was an instant success.
This is the portico and gateway of the Hotel Ponce de León.
This is a vintage postcard of the Hotel Ponce de León.
Louis Tiffany was hired to decorate the interiors. His stained glass windows in the hotel established his reputation.
This is the hotel in Alcazar Park in front of it. The Hotel Ponce de León is now part of Flagler College.
Shortly after the Ponce de León Hotel was completed, Flagler built the Alcazar Hotel nearby for the less affluent visitors. The same year that the Ponce de León Hotel opened, Flagler's daughter, Jenny Louise, died. Flagler built the Memorial Presbyterian Church in St. Augustine in her memory.
Chapter 11. Tampa.
After the Spanish-American War, Tampa grew rapidly. This is Franklin Street in Tampa, 1910.
This is the Tampa Bay area of Hillsborough County and Pinellas County.
This shows the location of the Tampa Bay Hotel near the center of Tampa.
This is the Tampa skyline today.
The University of South Florida is a member institution of the State University System of Florida, and is a public research university located in Tampa.
The University of South Florida was founded in 1956, and is the fourth largest public university in the state, with a total enrollment of 48,000.
Busch Gardens Tampa is an African-themed animal theme park. It opened in 1959 as an admission-free hospitality facility for the Anheuser-Busch Brewery.
Since then, Busch Gardens has greatly expanded and is now in the top 20 of the most visited theme parks in the U.S. and the top 25 worldwide.
Chapter 13. The Tampa Bay Hotel.
Plant brought the railroad to Tampa in 1884. The railroad became the center of the economy, and many businesses located and flourished there.
From downtown Tampa, the railroad went to Port Tampa, where one could board a plant steamship to Jamaica, Cuba, New Orleans, Bermuda, or other destinations.
A spur of the rail line brought the train up to the west front of the Tampa Bay Hotel, so guests could depart the train and walk directly into the lobby.
The Tampa Bay Hotel cost approximately $2.5 million to build and $500,000 to furnish. Consisting of 500 rooms, some of which were suites of 3 to 7 rooms, it provided a degree of luxury never before seen in Tampa.
Most of the rooms had their own baths and all had electricity and telephones.
In addition, guests were surrounded by a varied collection of furniture, porcelains, Venetian-style mirrors, and sculptures gathered by Mr. and Mrs. Plant in their travels in Europe.
The Tampa Bay Hotel opened in 1891 amid wide fanfare and celebration. Henry Plant's dream was now reality.
The newspapers of the day described it as brightly illuminated, filled with sumptuous decorations, thrilling music and graced with drits, domes and minarets towering heavenward and glistening in the sun. It was a Victorian palace.
The hotel was a lively place with balls, tea parties, and organized hunts during the winter social season. It was open seasonally from December to April in the 1890s.
Once a guest arrived at the hotel, he needed to be entertained. Guests went wild game hunting as well as fresh and saltwater fishing.
Water sports were also included like sailing, rowing, and canoeing. For the less adventuresome, there were bicycles, carriages, and rickshaws to ride around the property.
The hotel also offered golf, tennis, shuffleboard, billiards, and even a racetrack.
After the death of Henry Plant, the building was bought by the city of Tampa in 1904. It continued to operate as a hotel until 1932.
Chapter 14. In 1933, the Tampa Municipal Museum was established to preserve the legacy of the Tampa Bay Hotel, becoming the Henry B. Plant Museum in 1974.
Today, the mission of the museum is to interpret the Tampa Bay Hotel at the turn of the century, and the Victorian lifestyles of America's Gilded Age.
In 1933, the Tampa Bay Junior College moved into the hotel, using the old suites as classrooms and offices.
Because of the ample space afforded by the hotel, the junior college was expanded and became the University of Tampa.
There is a Florida State Park on the banks of the Suwannee River honoring Stephen Foster.
The Stephen Foster Folk Culture Center State Park is in north-central Florida on the banks of the Suwannee River.
The Carillon in the park plays Stephen Foster melodies.
The museum houses various exhibits, including dioramas of scenes from Foster's most popular songs.
Recommended videos: Disney and the Fun Coast of Florida. Recommended video: Top 10 Best Theme Parks in Florida.
Recommended video: Top things to do on Florida's Space Coast, Titusville, Cocoa Beach, and Melbourne.
Recommended video: exploring Florida's first tourist attraction, Silver Springs in Ocala. Recommended video: the Tampa Bay Hotel, Florida's first Magic Kingdom. Recommended video: the Tampa Bay Hotel, Florida's first Magic Kingdom. Yahoo.be web link 1445.
Recommended video: the Henry B. Plant Museum, a national landmark. Table of Contents, Florida Part 7. the fun coast of Florida.
Thanks for watching. Please watch some more of my great videos.